we have asked 3 members of the class to sit down with Charles Davis and respond on behalf of the class. So with that, I will turn it over to Charles for the interview with the inductees.
Fantastic. Son, we good to go? Thank you. Normally, as Archie just described, the National Football Foundation asks one member of the Hall of Fame class to respond on behalf of all of his colleagues in that class, but tonight we're going to do something just a little bit different, as Archie described. From left to right, my left, starting at the far end, head coach Paul Johnson, Texas linebacker Derrick Johnson, Florida quarterback Tim Tebow. Before we begin, Derrick Johnson's suit. Come on.
I know. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there any chance I could talk to your haberdasher?
Well, you know, we just made the playoffs. The college football playoffs. So I had to come represent.
Had to represent.
Longhorns. Yeah.
Holcomb.
Yep. There we go.
There we go. Glad all of you could sit down and do this and really appreciate it. Derrick, I am going to start with you because I'm not sure this is the way you think of things, but now that you are a Hall of Famer, all right, and let that roll around for you a little bit. What does it mean to be Hall of Fame worthy?
Well, a few words come to mind. Favored by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Honored, privileged, humbled at the end of the day. Whenever you can tag Hall of Fame to accomplishment, it's a big deal, big deal. And when you do that, and you can get to a level of excellence, it's not all about you. Somebody helps you to get there. And I know a lot of these, yeah, definitely. Greatest athletes in the world up here, college football in the whole world, and they needed somebody next to them to do their job right so they can do their job better at the end of the day. So this is the best thing about football. It's the ultimate team sport at the end of the day. And if the guy next to you can do their job really good, it helps you out. So you don't go into this alone. You go into this with your brothers.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm supposed to ask a different question, but I'm going off the board here. Tim, when you were at Florida, I believe it was your last season, and you guys had an upset loss at home, I believe it was to Ole Miss, and you went in front of the media afterwards and did what is commonly known now as the vow. I know it came straight from your heart. How did it hit you right before you went to the podium to have those words come out at that moment? Because I know that was not, I'm going to say this, and that was not you. How did that hit?
Well, a lot of people refer to it as the promise.
Yeah, the promise.
But I think it's a bad title. It's not a good title. It's actually the apology. That would be a better title because my parents taught me when I was young, when you do something wrong, the right thing is to apologize. And so I started with 2 I'm sorry's because I first wanted to apologize to my teammates, coaches, Gator Nation, because I felt like I let them down as a quarterback, as a leader, as a player on the team. But then the next thing that you always feel like you're supposed to do is say how it's going to be different going forward. And so people are like, oh man, you promised you were going to win all the games and win a national championship. And it's like, no, that's fake news. I never said any of that. All I said is that we are going to be the hardest working team because I believe that we could control that. And I believe that I could be the hardest working player because I believe that I could control that. And I didn't think you were going to see any team or player play harder the rest of that season. So I tried to say things I believe that we could strive to back up. And that wasn't just about me. That was about all of our coaches and players coming together, and the leaders and Spikes and Percy and so many of the amazing players coming together. And we were blessed that year to end up winning the national championship. And you called that game and did a great job at that. And that was special. And that's the thing about football is none of us are here on our own. Is we're here because there are so many people that influenced us and inspired us and led us and encouraged us and picked us up when we were down. I have my parents here, my biggest heroes and role models. I have 2 of my amazing coaches here, and Coach Meyer and Coach Mullen that taught taught me and coached me. You know, I have so many people that bled into me and influenced me. And I would also say to so many of these honorees, so many of you guys influenced me. And Derrick, I still feel like you're chasing me from all the times you tackled me when I was with the Broncos. So when he talks about excellence, he knows what he's talking about. And I love how the first highlight was Eric pick-sixing me. So thanks for that one, Mr. Hatchell. Appreciate that. The worst part about that is Eric picked it, and he's running down the sideline, and I was like, oh, I'm going to catch him, and I got to him, and then he cut back, and I literally was so embarrassed. I rolled my ankle and missed the tackle, and he took it like 106 yards. And that was also one of my favorite players to ever play again. But that's what I love about this is we're influenced by so many heroes, role models, leaders. None of us are here by ourselves, and I think we're all so grateful for that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach, I'm detecting a theme with these two. The ultimate team game, teammates, what all that means, how special it is. You're one of only 230 coaches now inducted into the Hall of Fame. And a lot of players, I know they're here for you tonight. What does this mean to be Hall of Fame worthy as a coach?
Well, you know, I would just like to second what Tim and Derrick both said. Nobody gets here by themselves. And when I started my coaching career in high school 40 years ago, and I had the opportunity to coach high school, junior college, FCS, the academy, and then Power 5. So I kind of checked every box. And certainly along the way, I had the opportunity to work with so many tremendous players, assistant coaches, and I think any coach who has ever coached the game would tell you that without their family, my wife Susan, my daughter Caitlin, their support, and the support of a bunch of, you know, I was so fortunate. I had assistant coaches that worked with me for over 20 years. And when you can keep a group together like that, they make your job easy. And I feel like I'm up here representing all those players and coaches that I had the opportunity to lead.
Yeah, well, yes. I will say this, Coach, if you have people who want to stay around you for 20 years, you're doing something right.
Well,
okay?
Thank you.
There's no doubt about it. You know, Derrick, being up here tonight, you mentioned people around you. Is there anyone who's been I hate to even say the most influential, but at the top, you know, near your list, Tim mentioned his parents, his heroes. Who are some people like that for you to get you here to this evening?
Oh, man. I would say two groups. First, my family. I'm a big family guy. My mom was a spiritual woman, introduced me to Christ early. So that's why she never have to worry about anything because her youngest son is going to be fine. But she's a school teacher too, so she wasn't just a school teacher at school. When she came home, she was too. So that was tough for me.
Yeah, turn it off.
That is true. But just to let you know, she instilled a lot of great values in me at an early age, and man, it really paid big dividends for me. Quick story: I won the Bronco Nagurski Award my last year at the University of Texas in 2004. And I'm a 22-year-old kid, a young man, and I won it. I was getting up there. They had just showed a big, mean video of Bronco Nagurski, just updating us on, you know, who he is and everything. And as soon as I get up there, I say, I know y'all think Mr. Nagurski was tough. You should see my mom, and then everybody bust out laughing. But it just let you know that my mom showed us tough love. At the same time, she instilled a lot of education and character building, and being able to work hard all the time. The second group would be my Longhorn family. Just being able to be at the University of Texas, 40 acres. I learned so much there, from a boy to becoming a man, becoming a professional. Coach Mack Brown, who's in the College Football Hall of Fame, taught us well, and being a second father to us. And my teammates, man. You can't do it without your teammates. That's what I love about football. We can come up here and pound our chests all we want to, but it's a lot of guys next to us taking the same kind of hits.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach Johnson. And by the way, quick shout out, University of Minnesota's own Bronco Nagurski, okay, from International Falls. Coach Johnson, we get to see you as a coach. We get to document it with our cameras and follow you around, and I'm sure you really, really miss those weekly press conferences and things you have to do and deal with all of us. But behind the scenes, can you tell us about an event, a person, an experience that people wouldn't know about that helped shape you and help you get to where you are here tonight?
Wow, that's such a good question. I think back.
Thank you. I worked on it all night. I've worked it out.
Well, I think back to early on in my career, and when I graduated from college, the only thing I wanted to do was go back and be the head coach at my high school. I mean, I had no inkling about coaching college football or doing any of that. I thought if I can ever get back to my high school and be the head coach, then, I will have achieved what I want to accomplish. And I had the opportunity to go back and coach for the same coach I'd played for at my high school. And he instilled in me that this is not what you need to do. You need to keep going. You need to expand, and he says, you can do this. And so from there, I had the opportunity to go to a junior college, and then Coach Irk Russell at Georgia Southern gave me an opportunity. And I actually started out as a defensive coach. And Coach Russell came to me in 1985 and asked me to be the offensive coordinator. And we had a young man named Tracy Ham who was the quarterback. And we were fortunate. We won the national championship in 85 and 86 doing what we did on offense. And we did it the rest of my career. So I would say that probably changed the trajectory of my career and really was the start to what success I had.
I can just tell you, Coach, you and Tracy Ham, kid from New Paltz, New York, I knew about the ham bone. All right, I knew you guys were running people down. Tim, we're going to close it out with you. And when you look back on it, as you sit here tonight, and I don't know, the answer may change down the road, but your most vivid memory of being a college football player, of being a guy who played at the University of Florida. I know the success is one thing, but there's a common thread throughout all of us about college football. What about you in terms of memory?
There's so much that I'll remember, that I'll cherish. The relationships, the moments, the one dream, one vision, one goal, so many different backgrounds and people coming together to chase after that one goal. And then along the way, through the ups and the downs, friendships are built, relationships, community, and that is just so special. But I think if it would just be one thing for me, it might not be the answer you were expecting, but it'd probably be when I was actually in the jungles of the Philippines and I met a boy who was born with his feet on backwards, and because of that, this village viewed him as less than insignificant, cursed, and he was a throwaway to the people there. And in my life, up until that time and still many times afterwards, I love striving to be the best. I love competition. I love driving forward. I love trying to win. I love trying to win championships. I love it. I'm super competitive, and I love striving to win MVPs. But I knew that day that boy wasn't a throwaway, and I knew God was pricking my heart, saying he's not a throwaway to him, but Timmy, what is he going to be to you? And I knew that day that I was, in my heart of hearts, as one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, I was chasing MVPs, meaning most valuable player awards. But that day, I knew God was pricking my heart, saying, I have a more important MVP for you. It's not the most valuable player. It's the most vulnerable people. That's what I want you to chase after. That's what I want you to help. That's who I want you to care for. Because these honors are so amazing, it's so humbling. But you know, one of the reasons why I respect so many of these guys so much is because they use the platform that football has given them to help so many of the world's most vulnerable people. And so many of these guys do it in different ways. You see, football has given us a platform, not just to score touchdowns or bring a fake pigskin into a rectangle, but to be able to impact people's lives. And that's why so many of these guys are friends and heroes, because they've taken that platform and they're using it for good. But one of the things that I miss all the time is perspective. But I want to remember what the most important thing I can chase. And I believe that's Jesus and the most vulnerable people. And that's why I'm so grateful to be up here on the stage with so many incredible people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we get three better representatives of the 2023 College Football Hall of Fame class. Coach Paul Johnson, Derrick Johnson, Tim Tebow, thank you very much for representing your colleagues tonight. You're the best, baby. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Coach. All the best.